in the Netherlands. Holland, not only waterland, flowerland or cheeseland, but also steam train land. These majestic creatures are still in operation today and run through the Dutch provinces like in the old days. If you're looking for the jewel in the crown, stay tuned and put Holland on your list. A rewarding experience. We highlight 8 of the most intriguing steam train journeys in 2 episodes. The Netherlands boasts a network of railway museums and operating steam lines, so many that it could put an American or even British preservationist to shame. Over 20 different operations, all in an area no larger than southern New England. All aboard for an unforgettable steam train sightseeing tour alongside the most beautiful spots of the hilly countryside of the South Limburg province. An enchanted, nostalgic journey back in time. We start out in Maastricht, the capital city and municipality of Limburg province, the most southeastern province of the Netherlands on the banks of the Meuse River. Maastricht, a city to fall in love with, a place where north and south meet. The crossroads of the 3 countries that get together make up the region Meuse-Rhine, the place where it's hard to believe you're still on Dutch soil. The main square of Maastricht changes into a festive Christmas market during the season. Maastricht is a city where old and new come together. Historic buildings, the famous Basilica of Our Lady. The church is dedicated to Our Lady of the Assumption and is a Roman Catholic parish church. Maastricht is known for her colorful region, and right in the backyard of Maastricht you'll find St. Piet's Mountain. It's a protected nature area and can be defined as a beautiful hiking track. On top of the mountain, there's the old fortress of St. Piet, a stronghold of past times and offers wide surrounding views. Another medieval treasure is the Hoensbroek Castle. The castle is one of the largest and most beautiful castles in Holland. Many of the castle's collections feature fashions and objects dating back centuries. During your visit, you can read more about the ancient sagas and legends of this Limburg castle. Valkenburg, alongside the River Geul, is a small community which has been a magnet for tourists for ages. People come here to discover the mines and caves with paintings, which date back to the days of the Romans. Another attraction is Valkenburg Castle, from which you can see the attractive landscape of Limburg. Welcome in Simpelveld, known mostly for the $1 million steam train line, which originates here. Simpelveld is a small city in the South Limburg region, in the Dutch province of Limburg. The village has a train station, though only used for the touristic Miljoenenlijn and has no regular connection to the Dutch railway system. During the winter, it operates several special Christmas tours. Take a ride through the southern part of Limburg on this classic steam train ride. See the marvels and beauty of this part of the Netherlands. Cross high bridges and see some great cities on the way. While visitors are busy buying their tickets, the personnel is preparing all the needed steam engine services and other facilities. During the dark and cold winter months ahead of the special Christmas Express tours, everybody involved works hard in order to be ready in time. This heritage line is quite unique, and being stocked by only one steam locomotive, the E2 1040 from Swedish origin, built in 1910. With a length of 18 meters and a weight of 90 ton, this impressive steam locomotive has proven itself over the last century. Bought in 1998 via Sweden and Germany, the E2 1040 is the oldest steam locomotive of the $1 Million Line. This train line takes the passengers alongside the most beautiful spots through the hilly parts of the most southern province of Limburg. Where does the name $1 Million Line come from? This railroad track was built between 1925 and 1934. The construction costs got way out of hand due to unforeseen expenses on tunnels and bridges, next to additional enforcement on terrain conditions. Remember, the province of Limburg was a coal mine province? The astonishing cost per kilometer was $1 million. Nevertheless, when the Dutch National Railway stopped the regular service back in 1988, part of this railroad track was granted to the Steam Heritage Railroad Society. This steam-hauled route to Schin op Geul became one of the most famous and appreciated lines of the Netherlands. The Heritage Line reputation went global, and guests from all over the world came to experience the scenic train ride. Most of the employees are volunteers and very motivated. Without a doubt, this is one of the most scenic routes through this part of Holland. Schin op Geul Station, the final destination for today. The village of Schin op Geul is small and best to be seen on foot. The Limburg province is characterized by the dominant Roman Catholic influences. This also counts for the nearby village of Margraten. The Netherlands-American Cemetery and Memorial is located at Margraten. Established in 1960, it's Europe's third largest war cemetery for unidentified soldiers who died in World War II. 8,301 soldiers are buried there under long rows of white crosses and stars of David. Today, the Cruising on Rail team rides the steam train tour Goes Hoedekenskerke. But before we start, let's introduce the highlights of this most southwestern located province of the Netherlands, Zeeland. Middelburg is the capital city of the Zeeland province. This monumental city has a rich history. During the VOC period, Middelburg was, after Amsterdam, the most important city in the Netherlands. Today, there are over 1,100 monumental buildings within the inner city center. The town of Veere is only a stone's throw away from Middelburg and a must-see. With a population of only 1,500, Veere is a delightful historical village built on the shore of the Western Scheldt. Its touristic popularity is disproportionate to its size, with no less than 4 million annual visitors in the municipality. Don't miss, and a must-see, is Zoutelande, often called the Dutch Riviera, after the famous south coast of France, and is one of Zeeland's most visited beach resorts around. and one of the few places in the Netherlands where the beach faces south. The city of Goes, another hotspot of the Zeeland province, has approximately 27,000 residents and has a rich history as well, like so many places in Zeeland. The inner city marine projects, cultures beautifully reflected in the water. The railway headquarters of the famous Goes-Borssele steam train also operates out of Goes. This heritage railway will take you back to the past, to the days of the railroads of the 30s. The steam locomotive SGB 0-6-0T number 3 Bison was built by the famous Belgian company Limburg, based in Liège in 1928. Guests are invited to visit the museum depot and the traction building. The trains and wagons are renovated here, serviced and maintained. To add some historic traditions, these volunteers dress up in their old fashionable costumes dating from the late 30s. Christmas evergreen songs are being played and culinary delights are available at the museum restaurant called The Goods Depot. A ride on the steam train from Goes to Borssele takes you back to the bygone age, during the nostalgic ride through the South Beveland area. The Bison number 3 locomotive is about ready for departure. Final procedures, and we welcome our special guests. The delightful Goes-Hoedekenskerke steam train journey is run by enthusiastic, helpful, knowledgeable volunteers who all speak fluent English. Their dedication to this lovely railway is obvious, and the trip makes a really first-class outing for young and old alike. You travel past meadows, orchards, dikes and villages as if time has stood still. Passengers can choose the wooden benches of the third class or the more luxurious plush of the second and first class. On our way to Hoedekenskerke, we stop at one of the waterlocks. The train runs on an 11-kilometer standard gauge railway built in 1927. The drivers on the steam locomotive work hard and are dedicated. Their primary concern is to keep the steam engine under power. The water in the boiler is heated by burning combustible material, usually coal. The steam moves reciprocating pistons which are connected to the locomotive's main wheels, known as the drivers. Both fuel and water supplies are carried with the locomotive, either on the locomotive itself or in wagons called tenders, pulled behind. The steam locomotive remained by far the most common type of locomotive until after World War II. Needless to say that steam locomotives are less efficient than modern diesel and electric locomotives, and a significantly larger workforce is required to operate and service them. Many thanks and appreciation for those thousands of volunteers and steam societies who still make it happen today. The final destination and endpoint is Hoedekenskerke. The village of Hoedekenskerke is part of the municipality of Boekelo and lies about 22 kilometers east of Middelburg. For many passengers, Hoedekenskerke is their favorite stop and destination. In this well-established restaurant called The Buffer, you can treat yourself to a snack and drinks, or even better, try the typical Dutch oliebol, or old-fashioned Dutch donut. What a way to end this historical heritage train ride. While the steam train returns to Goes, Zaanse entertains the guests on their way back. Goes Boekelo, a memory of a lifetime. The village of Haaksbergen is a municipality in the Overijssel province. The municipality promoted itself with the slogan, "The Star of Twente." The Cruising on Rail team left early to explore Haaksbergen and the surrounding area. Located in the forest of Twente, the narrow Boekelerbeek flows in the direction of the watermill in Oele to eventually flow into the large Twente Canal. A beautiful walking environment and a great place to catch fish. Haaksbergen Station. From this location, the Buurtspoorweg Foundation, the MBS, operates a railway museum line between Haaksbergen and Boekelo. The foundation was founded on February 21, 1967, and on June 23, 1989, was the first railway company next to the Dutch National Railways to obtain a transport concession for the Haaksbergen-Boekelo train track section. Also this year, the Museum Railway organized special winter trips outside the normal seasonal arrangement for the month of December. The majestic NS locomotive 8107, built in 1901 by manufacturer Bakker and Reuk in the city of Breda, is being prepared. Nothing is overlooked, and steam is everywhere. Today, the 8107 is the oldest steam-powered locomotive built in the Netherlands, still operating. This unique locomotive was originally built as a shunting locomotive for the former national railways for pulling passenger trains and trams. The main objective of the Buurtspoorweg Museum is to establish and maintain a historic railway company and railway museum, with special attention for the history of the local railway companies in the Netherlands. The train route Haaksbergen to Boekelo is literally a journey through history, a rich history that young and old can enjoy. A short but pleasant stop at the salt industries. A necessary stop where the guests and our iron horse are provided with service and delights. Boekelo Station. This is where the museum depot is located. It's here where the majority of locomotives and wagons are on display. Visitors get an insight in the enormous amount of work that needs to be done in order to have all the material in operation. Children are also entertained and learn from a visit to the museum. There is something in it for everyone. Today we focus on the famous museum steam tram route Hoorn-Medemblik. Hoorn is a beautiful Dutch city that is an easy day trip from Amsterdam that is widely considered one of the prettiest cities in Holland. Hoorn used to be the capital of West Friesland, and it was one of the main harbors of the VOC, the Dutch East India Company. During that period, the riches from abroad brought prosperity to this seaside town. One of the main reasons to visit Hoorn is to enjoy the stunning Dutch Renaissance revival architecture that dots the historical city center of Hoorn. Many of the houses date back to the 1600s and the 1700s and were owned by the merchant class. The first steam tram in the Netherlands was introduced back in 1879. Rather late in comparison to Great Britain. Keep in mind that the Industrial Revolution and manufacturing of steam trains and trams all started in the UK. A fierce competition between iron and steel, horse and carriage had started. It did not take long to see the outcome. The transportation of goods and men changed the whole industry. The Hoorn-Medemblik Heritage Museum has a fine collection of steam locomotives and coaches. One of the famous locomotives is named Bello. It's the oldest up-and-running steam locomotive in the Netherlands. Unique are the features of this locomotive, with a somewhat squarish model. Run by a group of enthusiastic volunteers, they make sure all rolling material is up and running during the special Christmas winter tour and beyond. The Hoorn-Medemblik is a 20-kilometer museum train track. However, today the tour ends at Wochnum. Along the line, a so-called typical Dutch flat landscape through pastures and meadows. Railway branch lines as well as steam tram lines were built to serve as many populated areas as possible. As a result, these lines often don't follow the shortest route but meander from village to village, as the Hoorn and Medemblik line convincingly demonstrates. No Christmas without Santa Claus, jingle bells all the way.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
The trains need more than 1 hour to cover the distance of 20 kilometers. The railway between Hoorn and Medemblik was opened in 1887. Passenger traffic ceased in 1935, but the line was kept open for goods traffic which lasted well into the 70s, by which time the museum Stoomtram had taken over the line, having started operating in 1968. Today we run a special operation and timetable. The Wochnum-Nibbikswoud is our final destination. This authentic railway station was restored to formal glory in 1987. The history of steam trams in the Netherlands today is still very active and well maintained. Just a stone's throw away from our final destination, we invite you to see the various windmills at the Zaanse Schans, a must-see. From a distance you can already see the sails of the windmill slowly turning, with extensive meadows in the background. It's a serene image, but hard work is going on inside the mills. The Dutch are famous for their windmills. People from all over the world are interested in the history of these creaking, toiling wood and all the moving parts of these buildings. Alongside the rivers and canals, these beautiful windmills boost the industry in the wider area. With 1.5 million visitors each year, it's a famous Dutch landmark, and this centuries-old history is still to be seen.